The top 5 Filipino players that could possibly make the NBA. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through the top 5 list, and we are going to compare them to a ceiling, not where they are right now. We're gonna compare them to a ceiling of an NBA player we think they can be, or they sort of play like. I don't want anybody to lose their damn minds. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you agree or disagree, I'd love to hear what you have to say, but let's start off with this list. Here we go. Number 5 is Robert Bolick. Here's why we like Bolick so much. He's a good scorer, playmaker, handles the rock really well, is a great leader for his team. He can definitely find his own bucket, and at the same time, he's also an aggressive interior scorer. Robert Bolick has a lot of terrific qualities of a 1 or 2 guard. He's more of a combo guard if we're really splitting hairs. Robert Bolick, I tried so hard to find a player in the NBA today that I could possibly compare him to, but I couldn't, only because he actually plays like somebody from the early 2000s. If you were there for that time, and if you watched a lot of players during that era, Mike Bibby comes to mind because of his playmaking, his shooting, and his ability to lead a team. If Robert Bolick somehow makes it to the NBA and there's like scouts raving about him, probably Mike Bibby would be the best comparison for you to be able to think or gauge his potential. Again, I love Robert Bolick because he's a very good player already at this stage in his PBA career. Somehow I wish he would be in a league that would better showcase his skills and market him a lot harder. But I have him at number 5. Here's the rest of the list. At number 4, I have Renzo Bando. Here's why. I have loved this kid since I saw him in USD. Athletic, can shoot the ball. He's not a bad defender, okay? He can also step in and create his own shot. As we saw in today's NCAA, or this year's NCAA, he won the rookie MVP. What a very, very rare accomplishment for any player when they're coming into a new league is to win rookie MVP. Renzo Bando showed what he's truly made of. USD, I thought it was kind of limited. In some games, I believe he even came off the bench, which is kind of weird. He had so much talent on that USD team. And then when he moved to Latran, just an absolutely amazing season. Now, if you're talking about an NBA comparison and just somebody that I think Renzo Bando could be in, let's say, the NBA, he has size, he has length, he has athleticism, he has shooting, he has scoring. I kind of imagine an Andrew Wiggins type, simply because he can also be a very good player defensively because of what he already has as the physical tools that he was born with. Renzo Bando, I actually think he could be in the NBA. He's got great size, athleticism, and these are kind of the prototypical requirements for you to make it into a league like the NBA. But again, there's so much to build on, so much more development that has to be had for a guy like Renzo Bando. Again, I'm a big fan. I'm putting him on this list. I don't care what you guys say. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so bear with me at number 3 because I've also liked this kid from the moment I saw him. He's got great footwork, great touch from the post, or the way he works in the post is truly something that I believe is already advanced for a guy at his age or at his step or at his level right now, and that is Carl Tamayo. Carl Tamayo, before everybody loses their damn minds, he had a great showing against New Zealand. I thought he was the only lone bright spot for the entire Gilas Filipinas men's national team in that game. But let me talk about Carl Tamayo real quick. He can space the floor. He's an undersized 4. I get it. He's got to build a little bit more size. He's got to build a little bit more athleticism. But where we already have him compared to as a professional, for example, is we already think he's like the new Rene Del Campo. But I also think he has a bit higher ceiling where he's young. He can build on his athleticism a little bit more. He can also build on his size a little bit more. His shooting is already great. This guy's got great post moves for a guy at his level already. And I think that already speaks to the potential that this guy has. I actually believe he could be in the NBA. As an undersized 4, I have him compared to Roy Hachimura of the Washington Wizards and also of Team Japan. Undersized 4 has advanced moves for somebody at his level. And is he athletic? He can get there. I believe he can get there. But at the same time, I also know that he has a lot to work on. He's very young. He's very raw. And you're talking about a guy who, despite him being that raw, he also has a lot of great skills and great tools already at this stage. Carl Tamayo, number 3. Guess who we have at number 2? In a battle between these two, you could probably pick, but at number 2, we have Dwight Ramos. Dwight Ramos, to me, is your prototypical NBA 2 guard, if I could say. He doesn't look like he should be in the PBA, in my opinion. I don't think that the PBA can even really attract him to be in the PBA. But I believe that Dwight Ramos, he's been playing in the Japan B League. He's had a lot of relative success in that league based on his team's ability to win. But he can shoot. He's got the ability to step in and play a little bit of mid-range. He can score from anywhere on the court, which I really love. He's got great basketball instincts and terrific basketball IQ. He can play in any kind of offense. He's one of those coach's dream type players where he's a plug and play kind of guy. Any system, any kind of offense you give him, he can find a way to score and not just create for himself, but create for other players as well. Now, I kind of figure him to be more of an Evan Fournier type player. And I'm not talking about the Evan Fournier in the NBA. I'm talking more about the Evan Fournier in the international scene, where he can get really good. He can get really streaky. He can get really hot. He can score from a lot of different areas on the floor. He has a bit of an inside game, but that is also predicated on his ability to force his defenders to hard close out on him, which creates his driving lanes. And he has the ability to finish. He's got a wide body. He's got a good frame. He can easily get his own shot. Now, number 1, I'm sure you're not surprised. So here's our number 1. Number 1 is Soto. We still have high hopes for this guy because he's probably the closest that we have when it comes to somebody being in the NBA. We're talking about homegrown talent. And I think that he still has a chance if he can just work on his motor a little bit more, work on his athleticism. Maybe, I'm not even sure about, I think he's already there athleticism-wise. Scoring-wise and just physicality-wise, I think that's where Soto needs to improve. Because again, the understanding is that there are so many centers in the NBA that are not in the NBA for a variety of different reasons. And for you to be drafted or for you to even be signed with, let's say, because I heard that he didn't get the G League invite, which is tough. Okay, so you got to go where the next best options are, which are you have to play for the national team or just get exposure somewhere. Maybe the Euro League, maybe in CBL, for example. Pick and choose wherever you can get popular, right? And for Soto, there are still a lot of areas to improve on, but it really revolves around his motor, number 1, which I think needs to improve, his toughness and his ability to really just get in there and muck it up with these big guys from the rest of the world. Because again, at center, that's probably the most physical position right now in basketball. Regardless of whether you're talking about from before or now, it's always been a physical position anyway. So if Soto can bulk up, get a little bit more athletic, be a little bit better. He's already got the touch. That's what I like. He's got great defensive IQ, which I like. But at the same time, there are also a lot of NBA centers who are like that. So if he can somehow stand out, which is probably not that hard to do, because you're 7'3", you can really stand out. If he can do that, if he can somehow be more of a unicorn, which a lot of people are projecting him to be, then we might just have our first homegrown player in the NBA. Filipinos, I know you love Soto. Let's keep rooting for the kid. And for all the other guys that we talked about. Because, hey, you never know. It could be a 2 guard, could be a 3 guard, could be a 4, whatever. We don't know who can make it into the NBA. But all fingers crossed. Check out more of our videos here at Grind Time Sports. This has been Jaff. We're going to talk a lot more about Gilas, anything hoops related in the NBA. Let me know what you guys think would also be pretty good content. I'd love to hear from you guys. This has been Jaff, PT Sports. See you soon.